쇼메, 캐니언, 그리고 2022 월드 챔피언 데프트의 존재는 가히 든든합니다. 꺾이지 않는 마음으로 한 몸처럼 We Connected D 플러스 기아! 지난 여름 거대한 돌풍을 우리는 제대로 맛봤습니다. 젊은 피의 패기는 계속된다. 쿨키즈 네버 패닉 리브 샌드박스. 말이 필요 없는 다섯 전사. 전승 우승 그 멤버 그대로 그 영광을 다시 한번 이어가겠다. Will to win T1. 길고 기다린 그 오랜 시간 끝에 결국 우승 트로피를 거머쥔 이들, 이번에도 결코 놓치지 않겠다. 디펜딩 챔피언.
Some of the changes that have taken place. Deft has joined D plus Kia. Of course, formerly Damwon Kia. We're probably going to say Damwon Kia about 1 million times throughout the season. You'll have to bear with us. It's just one of those things. They've got a new logo as well. That's pretty cool. Acorn and Gorilla have both come over as well. I think this is the first time that Acorn has been a head coach. Of course, worked with DRX, worked with KT, has done a whole lot of stuff. Of course, was previously on Samsung on that top side of the map. Was in the LPL, was all over the place. But very exciting to see him now as a head coach as well, with Def joining this roster alongside Kana.
Kana being Nuggery's replacement. We'll talk about that a little bit more, as this is the defending champion team, DRX, but not the defending
Omega versus Croco, and Fate does go back to the sandbox days. Of course, a little bit of Kwandong Freaks thrown in there as well. Two teams that have struggled against what was Damwon Kia in the past. So you can understand why those numbers are not looking super great. Kana versus Rascal, though, that is a really fun one. You can see neck and neck between the two.
Two great strong side top laners throughout those metas where we did see Camille dominate, where we did see Jace dominate, right?
Yeah.
And when playing strong side was the way to win, Kana looked amazing. And, you know, Rascal found himself to be a more multifaceted player, but we saw him even play things like Lee Sin top to counter Gnar last season.
And he was super good at it, too.
He was really good at #1 solo kill player, breaking records.
And I think D plus Kia is also a good idea, right? This means that Canyon can't play it now. Canyon, of course, fantastic at the champion, but he'll just pop the Elise in. And, of course, Lucid, on his sister team, played this in probably one of the best games I've seen in a really long time.
One of the shortest games of all time as well.
It was just a masterclass. And I'm talking about D plus Kia's challenger team as well. And yes, you know, competition wasn't super high. It was their first match of the year. But still, it was pretty amazing to watch. And
greedy Gnar pick here, though, because I think the expectation is going to be Cassante for Rascal, right? And Gnar has been one of the soft counters where you can beat him in the lane ranged here. But you can pick something more aggressive and just all in.
Something's going pretty horribly wrong. We'll see whether Croco can help it out here as he's going to rotate over. There's a Twisted Advance. Showmaker, he may have overextended here. No more Twisted Advance going to be available, and there it is. Sapling that he prepared earlier.
Croco shakes his head, too. You're not going to get away with this. And you can see there was a moment there where Showmaker backed off. He's like, okay, I think I'm getting the idea that Croco is here. Fate used his combo, and then Showmaker steps back up. Okay, you already used your shove. I can come up here and look for the kill and put some more pressure on, and that's exactly when Croco strikes. Really nicely baited there from Fate. Croco's ready. Doesn't have to flash for this or anything. Going to pick up an early kill for this Maokai.
Very clean stuff. Of course, Showmaker will retain the CS advantage, but this has really helped stem the bleeding. For Fate there in that mid lane. Goes back, has that enough, and Deft picks up the kill on Doctom. Fight not quite over just yet, especially here towards the top side as Rascal is gonna get solo kill. No, oh, so close, but Kana reigns supreme.
Kana just out of range of the turret, just barely out of range of the turret. If he's under turret aggro there, he dies, but he doesn't. Bottom side, I cannot believe Kellen connects that bubble onto Zeri Yumi, hits it again, and this is a disaster for DRX. D plus Kia really pulling ahead now. That's going to be 2 Drakes in their favor. A second kill for Kana up here on the top side. And this is a Gnar into Jax matchup. He is just absolutely managing so well, poking with range, forcing Rascal into these awkward all-ins, gets another kill, and Canyon has such a massive...
Now trying to deny soul point here from D plus Kia, and it is going to be secured. Canna now does have a full Narbar, gets everyone into the wall, dives on top. I thought he was just dead, but instead they're going to be able to take down DRX. Rascal is chasing after Showmaker. Prowling projectile there. He had a barrel alongside him, and so they're not going to be able to get out scot-free, but still.
The Rift Herald's still walking. I mean, besides that death onto Showmaker and the loss of his flash there, they got everything and then more. I mean, they both were able to drop that Herald down, set up a perfect team fight. Canyon escaped the initial exchange with his flash, comes back in flashless to try to contest because he trusts that Kana's there, has a Narbar, and can set up and engage. And this is super opportunistic for D plus Kia, but it's non-committal. If there's no great Gnar engage, if Kana can't find the angle, they can just walk away and take that W in the mid lane with the Rift Herald, but they actually get to win on both fronts here because of this amazing Gnar engage. Flash is in, it's a 4-man, it's out of control.
And we get the instant replay of the replay as well. That's what we want to see. Look at this. I mean, Flash Gnar destroy everyone.
Technically a 5-man, I mean, if you consider that Yumi's attached.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. The flash from Showmaker gets him out as well. Rascal just barely finishes him off on And yeah, no words needed to explain this one. Gorilla in the coaching booth there with Acorn. And
yeah, a lot of nices and absolutely well-deserved. So really well played there, but still, the Drake was denied, right? So that slows that stacking just a little bit. DRX have the opportunity to get a 4-stack Ocean. 4-stack Ocean Drake Zeri sounds like something you just don't want to think about, especially with a Yumi. So that is, that's a prospect. That's a thing that could potentially happen. Although, likelihood feeling a little bit low right now.
I mean, there are really scary aspects. Like you mentioned the Jax side laning, right? We have the Zeri scaling. But the problems are really time-based here. Because Damwon Kia is hitting all the spikes so quickly that DRX aren't going to be able to buy space for that second, third item for the Zeri very easily here. Very difficult for Duckdom to farm. So, yeah, Damwon Kia, they lose a Drake here, which does stifle some of the tempo advantage they had. But because of all the kill gold they picked up, I think they're happy with how it turned out regardless. Some bounty gold did go over to DRX with that smite, but that's about it.
And also, it's Canna with that big play. But speaking of big plays, in comes Fate. Weaver's Wall now out. Ooh, doesn't get the flick. Deft able to get out of the way of that one. Still has his flash as well as Fate's just dead. He turns it immediately. Beryl takes a lot of damage, but he's going to be able to get out now. Rascal trying to fight this one. Canyon goes too deep. Deft now having to flash to dash away. Gets over the wall with the relentless pursuit. And DRX looking for a little bit more, but unable to find it. 1-for-1 in the end.
It looks like the argument for that push forward from Canyon is that Showmaker's sitting on Realm Warp. He has that cross angle. He's just below Baron. And he's going over to look for a side lane. And it looks like there might have been a little bit of miscommunication because Showmaker could have Realm Warped in there with Canyon to try to actually continue that fight. But he wasn't there. He didn't commit the Realm Warp. So it does end up being a slight overextension.
And they lock down Fate. DRX now on the wrong side of the rift. Jax goes down first. Now 3 left remaining. A tree, a Zeri, and a cat on a book. And I don't think they have anywhere to go, Wolf. Here's the flash, twisted advance. Croco wanting to take matters into his own hands, but he has none available anymore. They're in the death chamber along with the rest of him. And now...
Showmaker's just like, try it, I dare you. He just looks at their turn. I mean, that's the best you can hope for as DRX. Like, maybe we can catch Showmaker. Good luck. This was a bridge too far here, unfortunately, for DRX. The turn angle is a little bit off, right? And D plus Kia kite back to the right side here, and now DRX on the wrong side of the map with no Maokai ult to peel. Tidal Wave is perfect, Bubble is good, and Kana's just building an R-bar. Meanwhile,
yeah, well, there is going to be yet another kill. This was Rascal coming in for what he thought could have been potentially a Miracle Steal or something like that, I guess. Teleported to try and pick up some stragglers, but didn't quite work out for him. That's filling in some blanks as we were in a replay. I think that's what happened.
I feel like the Kana doubters, those who were worried about this choice, because
I was one of them, Wolf. I'm not gonna lie. Like I did think that Kana was a question mark for this team. But it's been answered. It was a very quick one. You know, it might have been like an AI program that answered the question, but I got the answer very quickly. It was in this game, and I think it was a pretty good choice. That's what I'm seeing.
Because at the beginning, I was thinking, man, this is Canyon's game. It's all about him. And the early parts of it, sure, the win conditions we
back,
knew.
so he's not going to be realm warping anywhere, but oh my goodness, Doctor might just die. What is that shield, Showmaker? That is absurd. The Zeri goes down, Rascal to follow. And yeah, that's why Rise's 100% presence, I guess. That was illegal.
Yep, and he's got his Seraphs, he's got a lot of healing. He's very ahead, you know, he's sitting at level 17 right now, and he just will not die. And yes, Kana's sacrifice does feel bad for his KDA, but it absolutely allows Damwon, or rather D plus Kia once again, caster flub here, to make quick work of these turrets now. And Kana's back with teleport. He's just sitting in the fountain. He's like, it's coming up in like 5 seconds. I can come in here if we want it.
And he's going to tidy up the Nexus. I think the answer might be yes, as Canner's here towards the top side. Just needs an auto or two. There's the flash out. Nicely done. Cannon now just going to be fighting against the turret. Not sure what's going to happen there or whether it even matters, because we're fighting players with a naked Nexus. And D plus Kia are going to be able to finish game one. What a statement here, straight out the gate.
30-minute game, but it certainly did not feel that long. D plus Kia from start to finish in complete control, and even when there was that really cool bait from Fate and Croco, and they got that kill onto Showmaker, the tempo of the game didn't change even slightly. Showmaker just heads straight back to lane, and you could forget about that even happened in the first place, because Kana is popping off in every single fight, whether it's a solo kill in the top lane, whether it's a 4-man Gnar on the Dragon, or the turns he had in his own jungle. I am impressed so far, and the Gnar pick was the one that I was the most skeptical of in the by that, then gets queued by Canyon.
Ooh, Deft able to spell shield a bit of the incoming danger. Beryl with his life just a little bit. Heal is going to be thrown out here. Flash forward from Beryl. Man, they are playing some aggressive League of Legends here towards the bottom side, but it's going to bite him in the backside. Beryl goes down. First blood goes to Kellen.
Such a Beryl move right there. You could see the blood in the water. He's like, I can pull this off. We have to ignite.
Oh, Canyon.
Oh, this is
Canyon.
rough.
He read him like a book. And Croco's like, okay, never mind, I'm getting out. The cat is going to dive after them, and that's going to mean the escape route has been put in place. But man, does Canyon just have like...
He's got me too, so they could try to hold this Herald as much as possible. Kana has Prio topside, pushing Rascal back. Croco comes over here, but they have mid Prio too. This is risky from Croco, just wants to go for the smite. Kicked away.
There's the kick. Smite does come through, but it's a little bit early. The smite comes in. Oh, Canyon. Not able to poke her in the eye, unfortunately. So that is going to be Croco returning the favor from game one.
Yeah, I think that's what he was thinking, is just I'm going to smite poke. Okay, Beryl.
Oh, yeah, there it is. But Doctor's here with the answer, trying to get aggressive. Kellen has to use the exhaust here, and things are getting real dangerous, and this is where the real danger comes in. Showmaker coming down towards his bottom side. Gets the flash out of Doctor.
You see that orb, and you flash.
Oh, yeah.
Might not have seen the Syndra before that. I think they probably did with that control ward, but when you see that orb, you flash, no questions asked. Doctor gets out of dodge.
Going to miss, but the scat of the week is pretty good, Rascal. The one dangerous thing in Deft's mind right now as Boomerang Blade comes in, but Showmaker this time the Unleashed Power is going to come back up again and isn't going to be mitigated by the Jax. And finally, the Nexus will go down. D plus Kia, 2-0 victory in the first match for the LCK for Spring 2023.
Really clean stuff from D plus Kia. And with Kana slotting in so well, sure, it was a very one champ look we saw from him both games in Gnar into the Jax. One champion, one matchup. But he played all aspects of the game so cleanly. It's really refreshing, I think, for D plus Kia fans coming to today's matchup. Perhaps worried about how long.
제가 샀습니다. 분석 데스크 최대 주주도 제가 될 겁니다.
뭐? 어디서 4부 리그 나부랭이가? 너네랑 우리는 노는 물이 달라. 내가 분석 데스크고 분석 데스크가 나야. 분석 데스크의 최대 주주는 바로 나 육수빈이라고.
이대로 육수빈을 최대 주주가 되게 둘 수 없습니다. Give me your answer, 대표님.
청년. 지금 분석 데스크는 춘추 전국 시대야. 왜 힘든 싸움에 끼려고 하지? 나 LCK 전문가야. 이럴 줄 알았으면 알았지. 해설? 예스. 분석 데스크? 노.
분석 데스크도 중요합니다, 대표님. 저랑 함께.
똑똑히 봤다. LCK가 일브리그다 일브리그. 싫다.
아버지, 장자 승계 원칙 잊으셨어요?
나만 맨날 이렇게 해. 왜 들러리에요 왜?
할아버지, LCK 제가 돈으로 사겠습니다.
제가 항상 옆에 있었잖아요, 아버지.
내가 제일 사랑하는 자식이 누군지 네 모르나? 네 이게잖아.
Guys, you managed to get a Baron,
Well-
and the rest of them are like, thanks for your donation.
It's going to be tight.
Let's see how they manage to escape this one. Gumayushi's the one that first gets the information. As now Chovy over from the side. The rest of T1 just cool, calm, and collected, get themselves back, empowered recalls, and they'll go home.
Yeah, with the empowered recalls, there's just no reason for Genji to try to attempt to collapse and chase here.
Oh,
then
they'll
when they let
take a
go,
turret
yeah,
first.
yeah. When they let him go, and once T1 realizes they're just going to let us recall, they can commit to killing the turret here with those Baron minions. Very easy. So T1 getting a massive win here. Yeah, you lose your Gnar player alone bottom side, but if you don't need his damage, his minimal damage on a Baron, it doesn't matter. And look at how close T1 are to setting up this Baron. It almost feels like this was orchestrated, baited from
Diving
the
on in
beginning.
already. Gets into that backline. Chovy goes golden to make sure that he mitigates it, but Faker has picked up one already. There's the Gnar. The Emperor's Divide as well. Chovy goes down for the double kill. Owner's going to fall, and Pays is the last hope here for Genji. But it's not going to be enough. He's just going to skate his way out. Does not want to tempt fate this time. Faker is dead. There is not necessarily a lot of DPS left on T1.
Yeah, I'd say, maybe back away from this one. Don't chase too far, as Pays will get out here. Down both summoners now, of course. We did see Faker flash early in the fight, but the Emperor's Divide is amazing. The follow-up from Zeus is great, and technically speaking, T1 do win the team fight because of it. This is the earlier exchange, right? They're up on the turret. Chovy tries to come over here and cut off Faker and Guma. Will force a flash, and then Guma gets caught by Doran. And at this moment in time, you're thinking, there's just no way T1 won this fight. Zeus comes in with no Narvar here on the teleport.
So definitely still a scary time to be Genji, as Owner possibly caught out here. Doran dives on in. There's the exhaust. He's still very, very tanky. Delight has to run the heck out of there as he's taken down almost to nothing. Gumayushi finds his moment and just tags the Lulu. And
Gale
now it is
forces him.
T1's turn to have 5 versus 4.
Yeah, and this means no wild growth for this fight. If Pays is going to carry it, he's going to do so without that critical ultimate here. Toby's ult coming up online. Here we go.
Well, Faker has said that he wants to start this one off first. Doesn't exactly find too much joy there with the Emperor's Divide, but the rest of the team, they're there to clean up, and there is nothing that Genji can do. Doran, yeah, he dashes a million times, but it doesn't matter. Eventually, he will head to the Death Chamber, and the second Baron to be picked up here for T1.
Who needs dragons? T1's just taken the purple one up here on the top side of the map, 2 for 2. And now you have the ability to push and really threaten these inhibitor turrets and actually start taking Genji out of the map here. The timing
Will connect here, as Owner is like, a bit annoyed. And he's just going to call for a cease and desist onto Doran. Nice unstoppable there, but I don't think it's really going to work out. Gets himself a big old shield. Does have the Gargoyle Stone Plate in order to help him survive. That means cooldown is now wasted, but does still have his Ghost intact. So not exactly end of the world or anything like that. And Gargoyle Stone Plate, not exactly the largest cooldown. So
yeah,
should be fine.
he'll be okay. Will Genji be okay is the question we don't have the answer to.
It's happened though, Wolf.
What's
the
happened?
Infinity Edge
Yes.
hasn't been completed.
It's now the full,
We have the
real three
certification
item, yeah.
authority on speed
Zeus?
dial, as once again, Zeus in a little bit of exactly. And okay, that's a really nice flick there onto Faker. He does go golden. trying to keep himself alive as Pei's going to get engaged on Cease and Desist comes in. The chain of CC is gorgeous. Kumyushi's able to lock down that kill. Faker does eventually go down, but there's just no damage left. It's just cleanup here for T1 as Chovy, he's like, I'm walling it. I'm getting out of here. I'm done.
Save my KDA.
As, Owner is going to say, nah. It is going to be, a bit of a fight for it, but I think that Owner is going to be tanky enough. Walks out of the way the threaded volley, and there he goes.
Chovy's like, let him kill the Nexus.
Well, here we go. T1 are going to be able to take game number 1 here. Genji had a few moments here and there, but ultimately T1 owned this map and looked so good doing it. Really good stuff, and this is what we expected, right? From the team that didn't change anything, but still working like a well-oiled machine.
I mean, Genji looked good too. There were a lot of great early control. There was a lot of great early control with the Elise pick, right? They got the pick top side, they controlled bottom side. Peanut was a lot more present on the map earlier than Owner was. But T1's cross maps just made it so those small victories Genji got, an Elemental Drake here, an Elemental Drake there, a pick top side. T1's getting turrets. Lucian's down there. I'm getting a whole turret by myself. We're getting mid-turret without a hero. Doesn't matter. T1 just kept getting better objectives, more relevant objectives on the map. And
Yeah, we're done like Harry. 준비하는 rising road. 지금이 날 season hot. 태양나 done like Harry. 준비하는 rising road. 지금이 날 season hot. 새로 태어나. 싸우봐 너만의 전설 왜 무너져? 좀 하지마 걱정 챙겨버려줘. 조금씩 점점 불태우는 것이 나만의
Peanut both traded for just Owner. T1 will take that.
Keria gets another amazing Aqua Prison. Again. He just stops the follow-up here. Chovy gets punished instantly. And Pei's, even with the low health bars, he just doesn't have a front line.
Oh, no! Faker just flashes in. The Everfrost is extraordinary! And neither of them can play the game. That was beautiful.
I mean, Faker just snapped Genji over his knee. Like a twig. He took them. Goes in hard, gets the double root. That's the end of that. And yeah, Doran's doing a little bit of damage to bot turret over here. But suddenly, at the snap of Faker's fingers, T1 have taken a lot of control.
That was a welcome to the
map.
LCK, or a welcome to Genji, I guess, in Delight's case. We're going to check this one out one more time.
Look at the knockup here onto Chovy. He just gets burst down by Guma, so that's a lot of damage gone. Pei's ults here, but Peanut is in no man's land. Doran, not tanky, doesn't have any survivability. Ability to control side lane against a Fiora, by the way. Pretty impressive stuff here, what he's been able to accomplish. He's been given a lot of extra time. He's got a 40 CS advantage. I think that's part of why Genji still holds technically a gold lead very slightly here. Pei's, this is not where you want to be.
Yeah, that is absolutely not it. That is the chain of CC, Lissandra, and as well paired with the Aqua Prism that is then so easy to land. A little bit of a rookie mistake there from Pei's to stand underneath that turret against the list.
I mean, against a lot of other champs, a lot of other compositions, you feel pretty good about, oh yeah, I'm under turret here, but you've got to respect it.
I like that we just get it again, yeah.
Yeah, wow. I mean, the follow-up Aqua Prison, the Everfrost, everything is perfect.
So good.
This is Zeus getting caught moments later,
Thank you very much. Well, they're going to go for it. They are spotted. Chovy right in the area. Let's see whether he can actually stop them here as Faker's Claw now on cooldown. Doran Shock Blast. First one going to miss. Extendo Beams coming on in there as well as they dive forward. Cyclone is fantastic. Doran's the one that's Wild Growth, and you can see Chovy just evaporates. He was there, and then immediately he was not. As now T1 just back off towards the Baron once again. Faker still has an exhaust. So if there's going to be a Zeri moment, she's going to be tired halfway through.
Yeah.
That Shock Blast is dangerous though. Still, Faker's going to come on forward. Peeling off. They do not want to go for any sort of 50-50 as Peanut off towards the side. Has to Vault Breaker, but there is the Zeri ultimate, and there goes the Zeri entirely. T1, they just find these little moments after moment. And once again, they're able to win out the team fight. Zeus now chasing down the last couple of members. Delight forced to try and get underneath this turret, but I think Zeus is going to lock him down. There it goes, the weak point. Most certainly exactly that. 12-3 now in kills. This game has ballooned
It really
out of control for Gen G.
It was so close for so long. 0 kills, a trade of Drakes.
Is pretty far away, and there it goes. Ona gets over the wall. Peanut just going to press the button to flash forward from Faker to try and dedicate himself to the fight. Now it might be an opportunity for Pace. He picks up the first one, but Zeus has found the backline. Riposte is fantastic against the stun as Peanut gets himself out, and Zeus says, nah. That's my double kill, and that is no Zeri certification for you, Gen G. They're going to have to run away from this one as well. The Baron now in their hands, and a Baron in the hands of a Fiora is a very dangerous prospect if you're up against it.
Gen G's composition is just so complex. We talked about the nuances of how you have to play this one out, and there's just too many threats on the side of T1, and this far ahead, no matter how perfectly you play, you're not going to have a winning team fight at this stage, and they're not playing it out.
He's taking matters into his own hands here as Chovy has to dash, get himself out of this fight. But Hayes left out on his own. Another Cyclone's just gorgeous. That's going to be the end of Peanut. And these Nexus turrets are not long for the world. Another kill comes in as Doran, he goes back to base and watches it explode. Chovy goes golden on the fountain. Faker's going to join him there right as the Nexus goes down. T1, 2-0 revenge against the defending LCK champions.
It's another spring season. It's another opening day with a T1 victory. It just feels like the script for T1 for spring after not winning Worlds, but coming back as one of the strongest teams, a team that stays together. This story has been told so many times, and we're going to tell it one more time tonight. 2-0. And for Gen G, I hope these players, especially Paze, don't get discouraged with the result, because they had what was 2 great game plans, right? You know, we like T1's draft better. It was safer, easier to execute. This is the team that has pre-existing synergy, but Gen G's game plan was good, and the early game of both games was pretty solid, especially game 1, where they got this area ahead. Some of Peanut's dives were a little messy, but they still got the gold onto Paze. It's the mid to late game where T1 is one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world, with DRX breaking up at making these types of plays, and Gen G is still finding their footing. So I don't want anyone to overreact to the T1 versus Gen G day 1 of LCK Spring, but one thing for sure is T1, they look strong. Gen G, there's still work to do.
There definitely is. And of course, like, sometimes you bring up a player that has shown a lot of behind-the-scenes promise and things like that, and it doesn't quite work out. Of course, we watched Paze throughout the entirety of Challenger last year, but Challenger is a very different league, doesn't quite have the level of pressure on you, and this is his debut game, and he's up against T1. And that's a tough ask in anyone's book.
Remember, Gumayusi, you know, his beginning of his debut for T1 wasn't the easiest road either, trading places with Teddy constantly when Daney was running that roster,
true,
you know?
True.
Now he's one of the top 80 carries in the world, gets to flex on the camera here, 2-0's Paze. But now he's the veteran, and Paze is the new apprentice, the new replacement for Ruler. And big shoes to fill, but yeah, just a reminder that even Gumayusi had a rocky start at the beginning. It wasn't an easy road for him.
No, not everyone gets to be Zeus.
Yeah, no.
Who just does really well straight away, straight out of the box.
Those plays, but like the rest of the team commits 100%. Like everyone is like, okay, Faker says go, we'll go, and that's why I think so many of these fights felt so incredibly one-sided.
11 out of 11. The Observers lost 2 votes this year, by the way. You guys might have noticed. But yes, 11 out of 11. And, you know, no stray votes for Keria. His bubbles were insane.
Could have earned
but
it. He did.
Matter.
He worked hard.
Faker
Waves
just did
as well.
way too much more. Like, it's kind of hard for Keria to get any recognition in that situation. But we do have the interview ready to go. Let's hand it over to G-Sun for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Ji-sun for the POG interview translation, joined by Owner and Faker after getting the first win of the season on the opening day. Owner, in the match teaser, we see you said you really want